Hello, my friends. Today is August the 8th, and this is a psychic reading for you if this is your birth date. I am a psychic reader and healer, been doing it for nearly 40 years. Check out my credits. I do a lot of internet readings one-on-one. So this is a 4-card pull to cover the year to follow, a lens card to look at the year, a challenge you might face this year, an action you can take to work with that challenge for the better, and an outcome or a synopsis card. This is a lens card for the year, the storm. And the storm is just what it says. There's a big storm happening outside of whatever needs to be outside of your physical body, outside of your business, outside of your family, outside of your home, outside of your country, outside of who knows. That's up to you. This is saying that there's a storm happening, and you can't do anything about this magnificent storm that is ripping everything apart and tearing everything to shreds and blowing things around and wrecking them and moving them around and clearing dead energy and moving stuck things and just changing the landscape. And you can't do anything. So what do you have to do when the storm is happening like that? Well, you go inside and you hunker down and you stay safe, and you do things that hopefully are pleasurable rather than worry, because you can't really change what's going on outside of you, as long as you find your safe place and go in with a buddy, go in with a friend, go in with your family, go in with whoever you feel comfortable with to ride out the storm with, whatever that means, and stay safe. And then when the storm is over and you come out of your shelter, wherever you have been, then you face whatever is there and you go forward. And there's a lot of challenges to the storm, but it's clearing the landscape, and what was there is going to be altered and changed on some level. So here's your particular challenge, August 8th, folks. 8 of Pentacles. The normal of this card generally is about, working together with others to build some kind of physical structure that feeds a lot of people, that talks to a lot of people, that gives a lot of people a sense of their home or their abilities or their purpose or their value, because Pentacles are about prosperity, they're about value, they're about your physical body, they're about your physical creations, your businesses, your homes, whatever is physical in the tangible physical world. That's what Pentacles talks about. So what is the challenge for you? Could be your business, could be your home, could be your body, and normally you'd be working toward making it better and making it a viable ecosystem. Here's beavers, and they create a whole ecosystem for a whole bunch of critters beyond just themselves when they dam up something. Vast amounts of different critters come in and take part in the water, on the water, around the water, around the stagnancy, but still around the flow. It's a very powerful place, but you're challenged to be there, to do that. And I think because the storm is happening and it's changing things. It might be changing your body, it might be changing, your job, it might be changing your work, it might be changing your home, it might be changing your country, it might be changing the world on some level. So you got to, it says here, ride out the storm that you don't have any power over yet. And you can come out after the storm is done, but you're a worker, and the challenge for you is to stop working, and the challenge for you is to do nothing on some level and wait and ride it out. And so here is the action to take: a possum. You got to play dead. You got to play nonchalant. Maybe the storm is someone is bothering you. Someone is really being heavy on you. Someone is being heavy-handed, and maybe the storm is a person or an energy that you just want to avoid. And you go inside to avoid whatever storm that is. If that's a person, here's a possum saying, You got to play dead. You got to play nonchalant. You can't let them see that it bothers you. You can't let them see that it's working you. You can't let them see that you're afraid. The best power, possum is, has good sharp teeth and has good sharp claws, and they're for little fighters, but they don't do good against really big bullies. You know, Sharper, heavier, more aggressive. They don't, so their defense is to roll over, play dead, and exude some kind of death scent, to go, ooh, I don't want to mess with that. It's already dead. Ugh. So, that's really what the action is saying for you to do. Roll over and play dead. You're not interested. You're not involved. You're not going to worry yourself. You're not going to give yourself over to, anger and trying to get back at the other, fight the other right now. You're just going to play dead as you wait. But that's hard, again, and for the Pentacles person who's a builder, working physically to build something, and you have to pull that energy back while the storm is passing by. But this is a great teaching around the flows of energy and how you can have an effect on flows of energy without giving your own power away. Sometimes playing dead is that. Sometimes standing up and and getting back in someone's face or getting back in someone's energy fields and pushing back is the way to go. Sometimes it's just things might show up as, pray for them, send them light, send them energy, send them juice. Well, I don't know if that's I think what this card often says is send them light. You want to be safe, send them light that makes them safe, whoever them is. Send them light that says, you're part of this humanity as well. So I want to send you some light that says you don't have to be so angry, you don't have to be so controlling, and you don't have to be so fearful, and you don't have to be so much of a despot or a tyrant or a bully. So I think it's, how do you deal with bullies? How do you deal with storms? Different times, different places. But August 8th, people, if the storm or the bully stops you from doing what you've been doing, you play dead, act nonchalant, and they'll go away. They'll leave you alone. For a while, or until the next time. Or maybe they'll leave you alone forever. But that's to come. That's not in the foreseeable future at this moment. This is for the year. So this year says, you might have to just play dead for a while. And keep sending them some light, and keep sending yourself some light, and learn how to flow with this energy of the storm that you have no control over. Now, Mitakuya, and blessed be.